shawty, you're my boo thing. You're my body, you're my shawty, you're my boo thing. You're my body, you're my shawty, you're my boo thing. God, give me more body stains. Look bad with the diamond rings. Love me when you start, treat you like a star. I just wanna be with you.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. First things first, I'm not a tea person, but I am a coffee person, so I had to take a sip of my coffee. Okay, I was eating some chips. Okay, yeah. All right. So as y'all can already tell by the title of this video, I am going to be talking about the topic why I can't get along with my sister, and it is a story time. And first things first, let me just say how I am not doing this to start any drama or to get any people to start any drama. I got highly requested to do this video, and let me just really quickly let y'all know how this video got requested. So I do have a Twitter account where I follow all females, moms, just females in general, girls. I follow them as they follow me, and I tweet a lot of mom things, a lot of, you know, it's just like a Twitter for moms where all moms follow. It's mainly moms, and I had just tweeted about how I've been going through it with my sister-in-law lately, and a lot of them can relate to my situation. And so I've been like posting a couple of tweets here and there talking about the stuff and the situation, but of course I do not expose her. I believe none of my moms on Twitter know who I'm talking about or who my sister-in-law even is. But I know that by me making this video, there's going to be a lot of people that know who I'm talking about. And that does not mean go like, you know, bashing her or like going at her with any drama by any means. Not what this video is for. I'm just making this video because, like I did say, I had tweeted also how I would like any suggestions from my Twitter community followers, which is once again all moms or females. Request what were their suggestions or their requests for me to make more YouTube videos about, and they all told me how they could relate or would really want me to make a video speaking about the subject as to why me and my sister-in-law don't get along till this day, because it's been years and we still don't fully get along. And so I was like, you know, okay, well, I was at first I was like, well, no, it could be drama, but if I'm speaking nothing but the truth for what it is, it's not drama. And especially if other people are requesting it because they could relate or they would like to hear my advice or how I deal with it, or just, you know, in general, hear out my story and see if they could relate and probably find a way to cope with it, I guess. I don't know, but if it helps you moms, like, or you girls out there that are probably going through the same situation or somewhat same or similar, well, I'm glad I could help y'all cope with it and just give you guys my ideas, my personal opinions, and how I go about it. But anyways, enough of that. If you guys are interested and want to hear somewhat the story, because I really am not trying to make this video way too long. This is my second time recording this video because my first video was like an hour long and I was just going too into detail, which I'm not trying to do this time. But anyways, yeah, if you're interested and want to know if you could probably relate or just hear about the topic or whatever, then just all right. So I do have notes. I did write down some notes, and just I'm going based off of that. I am gonna be like just, you know, saying stuff here and there. I am not gonna mention her name, which I caught myself doing so in the previous video, the first one I recorded, and I was like, no, like it's a habit just saying her name. But all right, let's get started. First thing, number one problem from the beginning. Okay, so from the beginning, me and her, our relationship was good. When me and Jay-Z, my husband, were just boyfriend and girlfriend at that time, and I met her, she was good with me. She was very nice. she, you know, she would come to me, you know, grab my hand. She'll be there, like, you know, it just in good terms with me in general. And like, I used to work at a restaurant, and she would always come with him, and he would bring her along, and I would always, like, you know, provide them with food and just, you know, like, trying to have a good relationship. And it was like that up until I moved in with him. That's where the number one problem comes from, is when I moved in with him. I guess a lot of things changed as to my husband and his sister's relationship, my sister-in-law's relationship, like, just completely changed. I came in the picture. Before I came in the picture, I guess she would always be with him, and they would always bond and like go here and there together. And then I came in the picture, and he just stopped taking her places. He stopped, I guess what you could say, bonding with her, or just hanging out with her in general, or just wanting her to come along places. And she took it as I took her brother away from her, or I like pushed her away from him or something, which that was never the case, you guys. My husband can tell you this for a fact. I have never told my husband, you cannot get along with your sister, or you need to push your sister away, or just in general, like, do things or say things to get my husband to not get along with his sister. Like, no, that's his sister. It will forever be his sister, his only sister. And I respect that, and I'm not gonna sit here and let our problems affect their relationship. Like, that's never been the case for me, and it's never going to be the case for me. So let me just really quickly mention that. So I guess she felt that way, and she started holding like some anger towards me. And then another problem after that, her feeling like I took her brother away because he just stopped taking her places. But he has his own personal reasons, which I'm not going to mention here and sit here and talk about why he wouldn't want her to come along. But he has his personal reasons as to why he chose to change on her or become the person that he did, which I don't see it bad, because he was always there. Like, till this day, he's still there. Like, if she comes and talks to him, he talks to her. Like, he's there regardless. It's like, that's her brother and that's his sister, and it's just, you know, there's nothing in this world that could change that. But anyways, problem number two that got her to like not be in good terms with me was when I came along in the family, which is like my husband's family, his parents and her. When I moved in with them, my parents-in-law would tend to compare me to her. So they would say like, oh, look, you're this way and this way, and Brenda isn't, or she was never like that with her parents, and look at you, look how you're being, or Brenda wouldn't do that, or look at Brenda, you should be more like Brenda. My parents-in-law used to do a lot of that. We would be sitting at the table eating dinner, and they would literally just tell her like, you should be more like Brenda, which is me. And I noticed she would hate that, and I would hate that myself. I would be like, no, like, they shouldn't be doing that, because that's only causing a problem between me and her. And that was a big problem. But I was young back then, and I never wanted to like go against my parents-in-law and be like, no, stop doing that, don't do that. And that was like another big problem that got her to like, I want to say, dislike me. Like, she started, I guess, getting annoyed by me, the fact that I came along in the family, and I was now with her brother, and her parents were over here telling her like she should be more like me, and just her brother not being like fully there with her like he used to. And that was just like the number two biggest issues from the beginning. And then throughout the years, we did, like, I started making it clear to my mother-in-law, like, hey, you shouldn't do that. Like, it's not right. Probably that's the reason why she doesn't get along with me. And honestly, it got better. Like, they stopped doing it. But then again, it was always back and forth, like, back and forth. And then I started, like, as time went by, I started realizing the type of person or sister-in-law she was being towards me, where there was times where she would be super nice to me, she'll be talking to me, would be getting along, And I ended up realizing that it was only because she needed or wanted something from me, whether it was, you know, helping her with getting permission from her parents to like go places, whether it was me going with her, being with her, me and Jay-Z, you know, taking her so they could agree. I caught myself like, you know, doing all these things for her, doing her makeup for when she was gonna go on a date or she was gonna go out with her friends. Like I would do stuff like that for her, or just in general, she would want me to help her do something, help her out with something. I was there 100%. I was there helping her out. Even though she would act the way she would act, I was always there. And for some reason, every single time after I got done doing her favor or what she wanted me to do, she would just go back to being completely different with me. Like she wouldn't like talk to me. She wouldn't like, she was more like distant. She would get in like her mood. And I would catch myself getting so affected by it because I would sit there and think like, what did I do wrong? Like, did I say something? Did I do something I shouldn't have? Is she mad about something? Like, what can it be? And I would just be so upset about it. And at that time, I wouldn't talk to JC about it. I wouldn't tell him like, oh my God, your sister's acting this way. Like, no, I would just see it for myself. And I would be like, oh my God, like, I would be so worried and so upset about what did I do wrong? What did I do to try to avoid the problem or make it better? I pretty much, at that time, I wouldn't take it anyway. Like I said, I would just, like normal, you know? She'll be cool with me, I'd be cool with her. If she stopped talking to me, I would just sit there. I want to say I wouldn't take it personal to where I was like, okay, you know, well then, if she's not talking to me, that wasn't my mentality back then. I would just be so worried about how to fix it or how I could get her to talk to me again or something. Like I was always there and I would just let it be. So whenever she chose to come back, I'll still be like, you know, 100% there for her or with her. How did it worsen throughout the years? So taking it back, because now going back to now, the number one thing I truly dislike the most about her is that she religiously copies me a lot. I'm not gonna say 100% in every single thing, but religiously, mostly, she copies me out a lot. And I know some of you are gonna be like, well, that's petty of you to like, you know, start getting mad or upset about her copying you. Okay, going back to when we were on and off and we were living together and stuff, before she even had her family or even got married or not even got married, but got with her now fiance, I guess you could say. I was always there doing stuff for her, whether like I mentioned her makeup or whatever she would want me to do for her. But when it came for me, because back then I felt like me and her could be like almost like sisters, so I will always ask her like, hey, I like your shirt, can I borrow your shirt? I would go in her closet and just being nosy and digging through her stuff, a big mistake of mine. But like I mentioned, I thought that me and her could have like that sister, like not sister-in-laws, but like she could be my sister. And I really wanted that bond with her. So I just felt comfortable with like, hey, like I would go through her closet and be like, hey, can I borrow your shirt? She'll be sometimes straight up honest with me and be like, no. And I could tell she'll be annoyed by it. Or sometimes I would just sit there and beg her and finally convince her and she'll be like, okay. And there was times where I guess she was in a good mood and she'll be like, yeah, go ahead, you know, borrow it. And that's where I say she's a very selfish person. She's gotten better at it, but she used to be very selfish. Another thing, whenever I seen her editing her photos, I would ask her, hey, what app do you use? She wouldn't want to tell me. One time I wanted to ask her, what hair product do you use on your hair for your hair to look shiny? She didn't want to tell me. My mother-in-law had to come to her and literally tell her, like, stop being that way. And my mother-in-law was the one that told me, you know, this is the hair product she uses. But she was just very selfish. She wanted everything that she knew how to do or stuff that was hers, she wouldn't want to share with me at all. And like I said, that was before. She's gotten better with it now. And that's where that comes in to why it affects me and I dislike it so much when she copies me. Because the stuff that I would literally get were obvious. If it was a pair of shoes, she knew the brand, so she'll go and buy them. phone cases. I used to tend to buy a lot of the pink from the store Pink and Victoria's Secret. I used to buy their cases there. She would religiously copy me. I'm not even kidding you guys. I would buy a case and like literally that same week, or if not the following week, she would already have that case as well. And for me, it was like, well, you used to be very selfish with me, didn't want to share your stuff, and I came to the conclusion that you're just a selfish person, so I stopped asking her for her stuff. I stopped asking her to tell me, you know, what she uses, what she does for certain things. So I just went about myself and doing me, and, you know, just being me, and just not worrying about what she's doing or if she's gonna share her stuff with me or not. I ended up realizing, like, hey, you know, whenever I feel like I want to like look into new stuff, just be myself. And that's what I was doing. I was being myself. And comes along that she started getting into this habit of just seeing everything I had, everything that her brother would get me, whether it was a purse, it was shoes, it was a dress, it was clothing, it was phone cases, you name it, she was there on track with my stuff, getting it. And I was like, well, my mentality was so like, I disliked it so much, and I'm getting better. I'm teaching myself to get out of that habit of getting annoyed by it and disliking it, because at the end of the day, I am me and she is her. Like, if she likes what I get, okay, so be it, go ahead and get it. I was just in that like little bubble of remembering, and I could say, you could like say I was holding a grudge with her for her being so selfish towards me, that I didn't want her copying me or having the stuff that I had. And that was, I'm not gonna lie, that's very petty, and nobody should be that way. And like I also mentioned, I'm working on that about me. I'm teaching myself to get out of that habit of noticing that she's copying me or getting the same stuff I'm getting, or doing the same things I'm doing, or switching her bio to almost similar to my bio, or, you know, whatever it is, you name it. If I do certain things and she goes and does them too, I need to teach myself that just let it be, you know. I gotta let the past be in the past. If she was a selfish person back then, she was who she was with me back then, let it be. And even if she continues to be this way with me till today, the way I'm dealing with it currently, and I'm coping with it, because before it used to affect me so much. Like I mentioned, I used to cry about it and be so affected by it. And I remember I would be like, oh my God, like, what did I do wrong? Why is she being this way with me? My daughter was calling me. But anyways, I would get so affected by it. And now the way that I'm dealing with it and coping with it is just, my husband has helped me out a lot. He's like literally told me, my sister is who she is, and she's forever gonna be this person as long as she continues to choose to be this person. Because in general, all of us have told her, stop being this way. You know, it's not okay for you to be this person. She's not a genuine person. She's very like in her, I don't care, it is what it is, you know. And she's not a bad person, because, you know, people could change if they choose to change, but she's not there yet. She's not at the point where she's choosing to change. She's not. So my husband has told me, if she talks to you, be the adult, be the more mature one, be the grown up, and accept it. Like, she is who she is. Keep it in mind that she is who she is, but you're not gonna let it affect you. You're gonna still be there. If she talks to you, you talk to her. If she is the way she is, just let it go. Let her be, you know. Eventually she'll come back, talk to you, and, you know, all you could do is just go with the flow, just for the sake of the family to be in good terms. And it was very hard for me to understand when he first started like, giving me that advice. And I would be like, no, but like it shouldn't be like that. Like, why should I like even be nice to her if she's nothing but rude and mean to me? And it would, like I said, it would affect me so much. And especially now that she has her own family and she has her other sister-in-laws, which when they do something to her, she comes back to me. Like, she bounces back and forth. So whenever she's having drama with them, or they're just pushing her away, she tends to come over here to my side and be like, oh, Brenda, like, you know. And then when I guess their old sister-in-laws are over there being nice to her again, or getting along with her again, or trying to, like, you know, be nice to her again, she tends to push me away. And that also would affect me, because I would be like, that's not fair. Like, why can't you just get along with all of us equally without pushing either or away, or thinking that we're a toy that you can jump back and forth from? And that right there, till this day, I'm still dealing with. That right there, I could say, like, in my way of coping and dealing with it, because a lot of you Twitter moms and just my Twitter community just wanted me to talk about how I cope with it, or how I deal with it. And let me take a sip of coffee. And I would say just what my husband tells me, you know, be the more mature one. If she gets offended by anything you tell her straight up, because I am a very straight up person. That's the thing about me. I will tell her what bothers me about her, why I am the way I am with her, what I don't like about her. I have always brought it to her attention. And I've noticed that she doesn't take it into consideration, or she just doesn't care. She is who she is, and she's going to continue to be this person. And so my husband just tells me, like, you tell her straight up honest, and she gets affected by it. If she takes it to the heart, or she just thinks that you're being, what, I guess, rude to her, or just hurting her feelings, I guess. But I don't see how it would hurt her feelings when all she has ever done is hurt my feelings. And me bringing it to her attention shouldn't be something that she could, like, say, oh, well, Brenda's over here talking smack to me, telling me that I'm this and I'm that. Like, I'm just being honest with you. If I'm telling you that I don't like this about you, or I don't like you talking to me a certain way, or telling me certain things, or just don't be too slick or too playful about the way you speak to me, if I'm just bringing it to your attention, I don't like it, and you continue to do it, and even do it more, like with like what you would say, más ganas, like you put more effort into doing more of what I told you not to do, that just tells me that you're just trying to do it on purpose. Like, you're doing it even more on purpose because I already brought it to your attention. That's how I see it, because I be analyzing stuff. And until this day, I tell her straight up, hey, like, you shouldn't be this way. Don't do this. Don't do that. And even my husband does the same thing. But she chooses to continue to be this person. That's her. That's her life. She is who she is. We're not going to change her. But me coping with it is just letting it be. Honestly, the best thing you can do is be the more mature one. I finally am learning to get it in my head and just see things differently. Stop, like, thinking that it's okay to be fair. Because I used to think, like, well, we got to be equal here. If you're being a B to me, I'm going to be a B to you. If you're being slick with me, I'm going to be slick with you. No, just let it be. Take it as a, like, joke. Like, oh, you know, you are who you are. Okay. You're not going to change me being a genuine, nice person towards you because you're not genuine or nice to me. No. I'm going to continue to be who I am with her. And I finally came to terms with myself and came to the conclusion that my husband has always been right by telling me, just let her be. Stop letting it affect you. He has told me that multiple times, and I choose not to listen to him because I let my anger towards her. I'm very selfish with myself as well because I'm choosing to make myself feel this way when I could just let it go and be like, whatever, it is what it is. She'll come around eventually and start being nice to me again. So be it. No, I used to be like, no, if you're not going to be nice to me, I'm not going to be nice to you either. And we had a lot of Twitter drama back then where she used to tweet a lot of stuff about me. And she will go and tell her parents, so her parents could tell Jay-Z, my husband, her brother, that I'm over there talking smack about her, when in reality, she would never tell them, well, she said these things because I tweeted these things about her, so therefore she tweeted this about me. Because trust me, I never tweeted stuff about her just to talk smack about her. I wasn't that person back then where I was just one day, I'm like, I'm going to make a tweeter just to talk smack about her. No, I made a tweeter, honestly, back then because my only social media back then was Instagram. And back then in Instagram, you didn't have a DM or an inbox where people could DM you or send you private messages. And so sometimes my friends would want to, like, communicate with me because I didn't have Facebook back then. So one of my friends was like, well, do you have a Twitter? And I'm like, no. And I never found a Twitter interesting. So I ended up making one because of my friend. And tell me how I just realized one time that she, on one of her social media, she had a Twitter. So I looked her up. Me being nosy, of course, we are all nosy here. So I was like, oh, like, let me go see her, like, Twitter, like, what it's like, just to get a hang of how Twitter worked. I was just like, I was looking and going through my friend's Twitter. I went through her Twitter, and I caught her, like, tweeting stuff about, like, problems that she had at home with her parents and just in general. And then I came across her tweeting about me, of course, like, tweeting about me. And I was like, girl. So I finally ended up getting a hang of Twitter. And then I don't remember how she realized that I ended up having a Twitter as well. And so I guess she started realizing that I had a Twitter, and I would tweet stuff back to, like, as indirectly replying back to what she would tweet about me, like, oh, you know, we would subtweet each other back. And when she finally, it started getting to her, she decided to go tell her parents about it. Because I will never tell my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, or even her brother, my husband, I would never tell him, like, look, your sister's tweeting this and this about me. When it first started, I kept it all to myself. Any problem that I had with her, I would never go to Jay-Z and be like, look, your sister's being this with me, your sister's saying this about me. No, I was just like, okay, well, you're choosing to be this way, okay, fine. And that was a very big issue of mine. It's like, that's where I come from, where now I'm starting to realize how petty that was. But we were only younger back then and more immature, of course. So she decided that it was really affecting her, so she went and told her parents about it, my parents-in-law. And she ended up telling them, like, that I was the one talking all this negative things about her and saying all this stuff about her. But she never really told him, well, I would tweet this and I would say this about her. Like, she never opened up truly to say things for what they truly were. And so I remember Jay-Z coming to me and being like, well, why are you talking stuff? Like, why are you saying stuff? Like, you shouldn't be doing that. And I told him, first of all, no, you're not going to sit here and come and tell me that I'm the one doing all these things. Like, it's my fault. I'm the only one doing it. No. So I sat him down and I told him everything. That moment, I was mad. I was like, okay, like, why are you going to get mad about something that you started? So I told Jay-Z everything. I showed him the screenshots I had, because I had taken screenshots, because I knew she was going to end up deleting them. So she did end up deleting everything that she would say. And so I had the screenshots. Jay-Z, I guess I passed them to him, and he showed them to his dad, you know, to prove a point here that, you know, it wasn't just me who started everything and was continuing and persisting with it. But we went through a lot of Twitter drama. And I feel like Twitter is where the drama is at. And sometimes I catch myself till this day tweeting stuff, but I never, like, directly say her name. When I refer to her, I refer to her as my sister-in-law, because it's like, I'm not going to say her name so that everybody could just go know who she is and start bashing her. That's not my intention at all. But I know there's a lot of people that can relate. And for me, it's a way of coping with the situation. And just, I like tweeting about it and getting, like, feedback to where, or getting responses as to, like, other people are like, well, yeah, I kind of am going through the same situation, knowing that I'm not the only one. So, like I mentioned, to this day, it's still, like, a lot of Twitter drama. And I admit to it, I sometimes be tweeting, like, personal life things, but I never expose anybody or tag them or start, like, actual drama where it's like, I want all of y'all to go bash on her, and I want all of y'all to, like, you know, just know who she is. No, that's not my intention. I just like relating with other people. It's a way of coping. And I also found out that I'm not the only one that does tweet about their, like, life in general to cope about it. I've gotten so many DMs of amazing feedback where they're like, it's okay, don't feel guilty for, you know, being honest and tweeting about things when you're not even exposing the person. It's just a way of sometimes people cope with this, especially me, when I've been dealing with this for years till this very day. And honestly, it's like, it's a way of coping. So if you think that you tweeting what you're going through and letting other people come to you and tell you like, well, yeah, you know, giving you their advice or telling you that they're going through it as well, it's good for you. Go, don't feel bad about it. Like, I don't care if she, I used to care so bad back then if she would tweet about me, and she would actually like tweet and say like, oh, you know, she would put my name out there and stuff, and I would just let it affect me so much. But now it's like, okay, if she feels like she wants to tweet about me, go ahead. Like, it's fine with me. But honestly, there's nothing that she could ever tweet about me where she could say, well, she's this to me, she's that to me. All I've ever been to her is nice. And the times that have been a B to her was because I would just be fed up with all the ways she was towards me, like for who she was with me. But now it's like, recently she went on Twitter talking about how she's now getting along with her sister. Before me even talking about this, I'm always texting her good morning on Snapchat, like for Snapchat streaks. I don't know if some of you know about Snapchat streaks. The more you send picture snaps to them with like little messages or telling them good morning, it's like streaks. Like you get like, it's like a game. So I would send them to my cousin, to my best friend, and to her. I will always like take a picture of something and be like, good morning, have a nice day or something. And I would do it with her too. And it was like a every morning thing. When it got to the point where we will have conversations here and then, and I would tell her like, hey, when are we gonna hang out or something? Just me being nice, genuinely nice to her, she'll come back so slick and be like, how about in 2 years, or how about never? And then I would tell her like, stop, like, you know, I'm being for real or something. And she'll just be like, you know, I'm just messing with you. You're not just messing with me when you're not actually putting an effort or actually saying, hey, I'm just kidding, like, yeah, let's hang out. She would never try to hang out. And you can't force a person to hang out with you either. And I'm not saying she has to, or it's a command like, hey, you have to hang out with me for us to be in good terms. No. What would upset me about that was that she would be so slick. Like, she would have such a bad smart mouth, and she would just say she's just kidding, or she's just messing around. And she also likes to say that some people could take jokes better than others. But when it's a constant joke, like you're always making that little joke, or you're always being this way, it's for a reason. And I know for a fact she doesn't like me, and I'm pretty sure that she's gonna even not like me for making this video. But I'm just being honest, and it is what it is, you know. She is who she is, and I'm not adding more to it or less to it. I'm just saying things for what they truly are, and I'm not bashing her by exposing her and letting you all know who she is. And no, like I mentioned in the beginning of my video, like that those are not my intentions at all. And so I feel like something's biting me. And honestly, I forgot about this. How we've talked about it, like how I've already talked about that. I've honestly, I've told her I've always told her like straight up what I don't like about her, what she needs to like work on, how she's being. I always bring it to her attention when I don't like something about her. Even her copying me, I've brought it to her attention as well. And honestly, my best advice to those of you that could relate or going to somewhat similar situations, or just even if it's different situations and you're just not getting along with your in-laws or whatever, just be the bigger person. As much as you feel in yourself that you're holding a grudge towards them for who they are towards you, or for the things they say to you, or how they treat you, just be the bigger one. Be the more mature one, you know? And just know in your heart that you're genuinely being the best you can towards that person. And if the person is still being that way towards you, then let them, you know. They'll come eventually around and talk to you, and you'll still be there. And in your heart, you know you're genuinely still there for them. And if they choose to stop talking to you, then let it be. Don't hold a grudge about it, though. Don't be there and be like, oh, you know what? Well, now F them. Like, no. Just be the bigger, more mature person, and just know that you're the one that's has always tried to be in good terms and has always been there no matter what, 100%. And we're not perfect people, you know. I've talked to her about it. We've talked in person, and we've said sorry to each other for the Twitter drama we had, where we were actually talking stuff, because I would say some pretty messed up things back to her, and it really affected her, because I mean, I would say some pretty bad. Like, I'm that person that if you're talking smack about me, well, I'm gonna talk worse or smack about you. But nothing I ever talk or say is lies. I talk nothing but the truth. I'm not gonna make up stories and start saying stuff that it's not true. Like, I would actually say, like, talk about her stuff and how she is, and it would affect her, because I was being honest and I was putting her out there. And we talked about it. We said sorry to each other, and we just carried on with our lives. But sorry honestly meant nothing, because till this day, like I said, she still is who she is. She's gotten better at being selfish. Now she claims to not care if someone knows what she's like, what her stuff is, or if someone copies her. Like, she tells me that she doesn't care if her sister-in-law copies her. They copy each other. Her other sister-in-laws, they copy each other and everything or whatever. Okay, that's fine. That's good. Like, I mean, maybe they never got to experience the selfish you, and now today you just in good terms with them and you're more open with them. They, on the other hand, don't know how you've been with me, and what caused me to start disliking certain things, or starting becoming this person that I shouldn't have, like I mentioned. But yeah, it's like, there's a lot more to it, and I feel like this second video I'm making is gonna be as long as well. But hey, there's a lot to it, to where she hasn't been a good auntie to my daughter. She's a two-face, because whenever she chooses to come around, she'll come around, and when she doesn't want to be around, she'll be over there with the people that she's like, she wasn't getting along with them because they're being so and so with her, so now she's coming to me. And then when they're over there taking her back, like trying to get her happy again, she'll go back to them and push me to the side. And for me, that's being a two-face, nothing being straight up honest. Like, you're just being a two-face. And I honestly have no problem with telling her, like, hey, like, stop being this way. Stop assuming that we don't get along when we actually do. I just stopped hitting you up first. How are you going to tell me that? Well, not tell me, but how are you going to go tweeting that you get along with your other sister-in-laws, but you don't get along with me, when we never stopped getting along, because we never had a conversation where we argued or anything. I just simply stopped hitting her up first, just to see if she would hit me up first, if she would take the time. Because I realized that she was like back into getting along with her other sister-in-laws, and I'm like, well, what if I stop texting her? What if I stop Snapchatting her first? Because I was not liking her rude responses or how smart she would get with me. So I was just like, okay, I'm done. Like, I'm done. Like, if you want to contact me or keep in touch or actually want to make some effort, you'll come to me. You'll come around. And I stopped, and she started tweeting and assuming that we no longer get along, when that was never the case. She was also tweeting that she missed me, and I'm like, how are you gonna miss me when I'm literally down the street, or just a phone call or a text away? Like, I messaged her. I literally told her straight up, I saw your tweets, and I don't understand how we are not getting along. I don't understand how you miss me when you don't bother to, like, even hang out with me when I tell you. Your response is maybe in 2 years, or how about never. But she says it's playing around, but she truly never makes the effort to actually hang around with me. And I've noticed that she does all those things with her other in-laws. And I'm like, well, do you reply to them too? Even if she was to be playful like that with them too, but I see how she does hang around with them, how she's always with them and bonding with them and just being with them. But when it comes to me, it's like all I get is in 2 years or maybe never, and we don't actually hang out, or we don't actually bond. And I'm fine with that. Like, I'm just like, you can tell you can peep things, and you can tell how people really don't like you, or they're just choosing not to, because there's only choices we all make. If you're not hanging out with the person, or you're not communicating with the person, it's because you're choosing not to. And I did tell her, like, you have my phone number, you have my Snapchat, you can snap me. Like, how you're gonna tweet that you miss me, but and assume that we're not getting along anymore, but all I ever did was stop hitting you at first. Like, why couldn't you just hit me up? If you really feel like you miss me, why couldn't you just shoot me a text and be like, hey Brenda, or hey sis, because she calls me sis, oh, how are you? I haven't heard from you in a while, you stopped texting me, or something. If you feel some type of way, come to me, let's talk about it. You know, I always do that. But sometimes I guess she doesn't like coming to me. I'm assuming she doesn't like coming to me because she knows I'll tell her straight up, like, the reasons why I stopped, why I distance myself, because I do that a lot. I tend to do that when I start seeing things or feeling a vibe from that person, or I just see that person is not genuinely being nice to me, I distance myself from it. And that's what I do now. I don't go and start a problem. I'm like, I'm still in good terms with you, but I'm just here. Like, I'm neutral. If you want to come to me, I'm here. If you don't, then it's your choice. And it just kind of bugged me that she would tweet how she's getting along with her other sister-in-laws, and how she just doesn't get along with me, and how she misses me. But it's like, you never text me, you never come to me. We didn't have an argument or a conflict to where you could say we don't get along. So I was kind of confused there. So I did go to her and told her how I felt about it. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you what, after I told her how I felt, how I'm only literally down the street, how she just chooses not to come around me, but chooses to bond more with her other sister-in-laws, and even if she was to be playful with them like she is with me, and be like smart with them as well, her response to that was understandable. That's it. Understandable. Like, you understand what I'm telling you, and I guess you're gonna choose to continue to be this way. But you know what, guys, I'm probably gonna make a part 2 of this video. I did tell my husband I was gonna be making this video. He supported me 100%. He was like, go for it. Like, you know, if it's gonna help other people relate, it's gonna, like, you know, a coping / relatable YouTube video where other people can relate. They're probably going through the same thing. He's like, go for it. You're not gonna sit there and start making up a whole bunch of lies. You're not gonna sit there and talk about things that aren't real, and just trying to make that person look bad, or make them seem who they're not, when all I'm gonna say, all I did right now in this video is say nothing but the truth for how it is, how things have been. And that's pretty much it, you guys. But there's so much more to it that this video would be even extra longer, and I honestly don't want it to be that long, because I feel like it's already an hour long. And I'll probably make a part 2. I know my husband had mentioned to me that he wants to be a part of making a video like this with me, where he can actually for himself talk about how him distancing himself from his sister at one point was never my fault. So, you know, it's just, there's so much more to it, how she's been with my daughter, how, like, just in general, talk about more about the situation, because there's so much more to it. But I don't know, I might not. Like I said, Jay-Z might come along with me making one of these videos. We can record together. And yeah, you guys, pretty much I hope you guys can relate and take what I just told you about being the more mature one, and just for the sake of the family, for the sake of your kids, if you have kids, or for the sake of just mental health, for your feelings, for your, you know, to just not let it affect you. Don't let it affect you if you're being a genuine person and that person is just choosing to be the way they are towards you, even after you've brought it up to them. I hope you guys can somewhat reflect and just take what I just shared with you guys and make a change for the positive out of it. To know that you're not alone if you're going through something like that, where you wish you could have a bond with someone, but you have no control of who that person is. And just move on with life and don't let it affect you. Be happy, be you. Don't let nobody change you or turn you into an ugly, negative person, because that's only what you'll look like, an ugly negative person. If someone is being ugly and negative to you and all you choose to do is be ugly and negative back, it's going to turn you into everything that you don't like about that person, and you're doing it to them back just to get back to them, or just so they could feel what you're feeling. That's not okay, because that's all you don't want from that person, and just by you doing it back, it's like a cycle. And just don't let it change you, don't let it affect you, and don't think about being equal or think about, well, I'm gonna get back to them. Just, like I said, be the bigger one, the more mature one. And I hope, like, you know, y'all take that into mind and just make the situation better for yourself, your feelings, and just you. Anyways, let me stop, because this video, I feel like this video is already gonna be too long. But for those of you that stayed this far to hear me out, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Feel free to comment down below if you can relate. DM me on my social medias down below if you feel like you want to talk more about it, you know, get more advice, or you just, you know, want to hear more from me, what my opinions are, or whatever. Feel free. My social media will be down below where you could also reach out to me from. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos. And yeah, you guys, thank you for tagging along this far and watching this long ass video with me, because I'm pretty sure it's a long one. And yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. Until my next video, you guys.